yourself first and then we can go ahead.
Yeah, so my name is Saksham Kumar and I'm a first year BDS student in IIT Roorkee. I was in Ignite India Bangalore HSR branch for 2 years, offline batch, and I cleared UCEED last year, and now I'm doing my bachelor's in IIT Roorkee.
Thank you so much, Saksham. So how is your college life is going on? Could you please
Yeah,
share some glimpses?
yeah. The in IIT Roorkee you need like a PCM background in your 11th and 12th to get into the college. So I was a PCM student in my 12th, and so the course here is also very related to the physics, chemistry, and maths, and a bit of design as well for the first 2 years at least. So gradually, I'm in my second semester right now. So design courses have been increased from last year. So there's a lot of physics portion too, even from the NCRT sometimes. And the college life is very good since it's like a top tier college, and the design courses are also very good. There's a lot to learn from other branches as well.
Hello everyone. I know all of you are bit worried about your UCEED and CEED exam. So here we have Saksham with us, who has already written these examinations and have a similar experience. He's already in IIT Roorkee. So he is going to give you some tips and tricks and a strategy for the examinations. So over to you, Saksham. You can go ahead and tell your experience about your exam.
So thank you, sir. So I'll just share my screen.
Yes, yes, sir.
So is my screen visible, everyone? Okay. So
Yes,
since you
sir.
guys have only 2 days for the exam, you all must be nervous at this point. So I'll just in this session I'll try and clarify most of your doubts, and as well as give you some tips and tricks and some strategy to how to approach the paper and get as much as possible marks as possible. So I'll just quickly brush through the pattern of the paper as it I've picked up from the website directly. So the exam is divided into 3 hours. The part A is of 2 hours, which includes a NAT part, which is numericals. Then we have the MSQ and MCQ. And the part B is of 1 hour with two questions of 50 marks each. So to for your part B check, there's a cutoff which is decided depending on how difficult the paper was that year and the how the people have scored in the part A. So yeah, you need out of 200 marks, you need a specific mark in part A. Then only your part B marks will be checked. So even if you might have done very well in part B, you need to at least pass the cutoff in part A so that your part B is checked. So in 2024, the part A was relatively easier compared to 2025. So the cutoff was little high, as you can see, it was around 70 marks. And in 2025, the part A was quite difficult and people scored comparatively less. So the cutoff was reduced to 61.5. This is for the open category, and depending on the category, the marks will decrease. The cutoff will decrease. So uh, the answers to part A will be all computer based, where in the NAT section you have to just type in the answers, and for the MSQ and MCQ you just have to mark the correct option. So the NAT is the numerical answer type, which there'll be 14 questions of 4 marks each, and there is no negative marking in this question, and there are no options given. So here is just one example of the NAT question. So you see here there is no option given, but the answer will be only be in numerical, no text answers or anything, only numericals. So it'll be like a keypad in the computer screen, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just have to select the numbers and click on enter. So this is one question I've taken from 2025. So you must be very thorough with all the patterns and this visualization questions. So this kind of question can be asked where you have to flip. So you have to train your brain accordingly. And for example, the answer for this question will be two, and the two shapes which will be some of the shapes in the image K are either flipped or rotated. Which of the image is flipped? So you have to read the question very carefully. So many people might have answered both flipped and rotated patterns, but the answer is only flipped. So you have to read the question at least twice. So here, if you see, the two shapes would be this and this. These two have been flipped. Others have been rotated. So the answer would be two. So anyone has any doubt in that part, the section one? If there is no doubt, I'll move on with explaining the section two. So in this, there'll be 15 questions, and there'll be negative marking in this where you can mark. There'll be more than one or more correct answers. So nearly four options given. So here I have an example for MSQ. So this question has more than one answer. So which of the option has been created by using a single wire? So in this, if you see, you have to. It's all about visualization again. And in this, you should always be take the correct answer which you are very sure about. So if you click more than even one wrong answer, imagine you clicked on C and D, which are the correct answers, but you also thought that B is the correct answer and you tick, so you'll lose all your marks and you'll get negative 0.75 for this. If you do not attempt, you will get 0 marks, and if you do attempt the correct answers, you will get full mark, which is C and D. So for full marks, you will get which is 4. So if there are four correct options, in this there was only two correct options, so you'll get maximum 2 marks in this. And if you'll get 0 for if you do not attempt, and -1 in case of any. So over here, I just make a correction. It's -1 for MSQ and -0.75 for MCQ. So you have to be very careful. Do not mark more than. Do not try and just tukka lagana. You cannot do it in this. You have to at least be sure with even one. If you show it even one answer, for example, if you don't know if the correct answer is D, you can just click on C and leave it. You will at least get 1 mark. So anyone has any doubt in the MSQ part or NIT part?
I have one doubt. Like, I'm sure that it won't happen, but I'm just guessing. Like, if all four are correct, and
Yeah,
if we just choose like two answers, like, so how
yeah.
much would we get?
You'll get 2 marks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there is no negative marking if all four are correct. In case all four are correct, and you'll so there'll be no case of any negative marking. So section 3 is the MCQ part where there's 28 questions, and over here you get -0.71 for negative marks, and there's only one correct answer. So compared to MSQ, this is less tricky, but with this too, you have to either leave it or you have to be sure with the answer. So in this, like you have to think out of the box in this text kind of questions. So many people might be thinking that it might be odd one, which option is odd one out. So many people might think maybe it's a meaning, but if you see, it's all about mirror image. If you mirror this word, you will get the same word again. Same with this. If you mirror it, you'll get rotator civic again. But over here, if you see, even if you mirror it, you'll get a different answer. So you'll get level again, but you'll get like OLOS, which is odd one out compared to this again. So there's only one answer. If you click the correct one, you'll get full marks for it. So in MCQ, I guess it's 1 mark for every correct answer. Oh, you get 3 marks for every correct answers. Yeah. So MCQ does give you many marks if you get the correct answer. Even one option will give you 3 marks. So here are some tips. So do not spend more than one minute in any question. So the NAT questions might take more time, but you can leave them and come back to them in the end. So you have an option to like you can come back to the unmarked question after attempting them. If you leave the question also, it'll be the computer will have a for example, is 1, 2, 3 the question numbers. So if you left a question, it'll be I think it'll become like a purple color, even if and then you can come back to it later. If you have attempted a question, it'll be like a green color. So you can look at the screen and then come back to the question which you have left. So to skip all the risky MSQs initially, which have partial marking, you can attempt every NAT question as there is no negative marking. If you get the wrong mark, you will just get 0. If you get the wrong answer, and if it takes more than 1 minute, you can leave it. So the computer will have an option to mark questions if you are unsure with them. So you can like click on the question and then there'll be an option to like click on unsure or like that. So keep your mind active, especially for the questions which require visualization, flipping, rotation, etc. So like sometimes your brain might not be very warmed up, so it'll take first few questions might take a bit of time to visualize, but once after the first few questions, you will get it'll be very easy to encounter the other questions, especially of this category. Same is with the numerical ones. And in the exam, you'll be given like a small rough sheet. So in that, you can do all the calculations and all with your pen or pencil. And that will not be submitted, so it's all rough. So read every question twice. So especially for the question which have not or except. So many times people ignore this and they click on the like other option and they get negative marks. So it's not about how many questions you attempt, but it's about your accuracy and how many questions you were sure with which you attempted. So many times people might attempt out of 57 questions, they might attempt all, but they'll get very less. So even if you attempt like around 35 plus or 35, it's fine. You'll get marks for them. So aim for attempting all the questions which you're sure with, rather than more questions. And if you're sure with this, you can attempt as many. So anyone has any doubt in part A, any of the pattern or what you did not understand? So the NAT part, MSQ, MCQ, any doubt?
In MCQ section, if we have doubt on like some option, like this could be true, but we are not really sure, then what should we
Yeah.
do? We should take risk or leave it.
You can initially leave it, and once you are like done with all like in 2 hours, you get 2 hours. So in the end, if you have 10 minutes left, you can come back to the question. Then you can with a fresh mind again you can reattempt it. And if
Okay.
you're sure that you won't get the correct answer, then you can leave it. Since there's negative marking, so it's better that you leave if you're very unsure. But every correct answer will give you 3 marks. Okay, so coming to part B, there's 2 questions of 50 marks each. So divided into 1 hour. So I would suggest that you give at least 25 minutes to each question first, and the last 10 minutes you can just revise to both the questions. So in part A, like one case happened with me that I was just typing my last answer in NAT, and the time ran out. So make sure that you finish the every answer just before the time ends. So if I would have just entered the last digit of that answer, maybe it was like around one. The answer was something like this, and I was just going to type the last one. And time ran out, so and then I lost my 4 marks. But since there was no negative marking, it's fine. So in NAT, you can just assume if you're unsure. So in the last hour of the exam, there will be the part B. So in this, it's all about the clarity of the sketch and how neat and proportionate your figures are. So the first question will be about the drawing in of a scene or perspective drawing, which they have asked from like many years now. So this is a question from 2025 in which the evaluation criteria was how would you observe the question, like all the keywords, for example, holiday, railway station. So this is how you observe. You have to read the question more than once every time. You also have to look at the evaluation criteria then and then like answer the accordingly and sketch your scene. Then there is composition. How could you compose a scene? Do not leave any negative space. Even if it's a sky, also don't leave a very odd big space. You can fill it with like a tree or something. Or even if it's a room, you can fill it with maybe like a fan. But do not give very many unnecessary details because that'll be time consuming. So what is asked in the question, just stick to that mainly. Just space your objects accordingly. Human figures can be of different sizes depending on the age and the perspective. Then you should have a good sense of perspective and proportion. Proportion in every case, not just human beings. Sometimes people draw the maybe the window is too big, or a cycle has to be drawn which is like very big compared to a human. So that will make you lose marks. And the quality of line is very important. I know in exam it will be tough to maintain a good quality of line because there'll be many shaky lines because of nervousness. So you should try and take a deep breath and make a line in one go. You should not lift. You should always lift your elbow and draw. Do not just draw with only your wrist. That'll make your line quality bad. You should draw with the whole arm, especially for the guideline, like the lines of the walls and big lines. You should use your whole arm. Maybe for small details like a nose of a human and all, you can just use a wrist. But for a big lines, use the whole arm in perspective. And attention to details in your sketch itself. Your the closer object should have more detail. For example, a human figure is very close. You can include the all the details. But for example, if a human figure is very far, just the face is fine. So you should only use a pencil sketch. There's no color allowed in the exam hall, and no scales also. They will take it beforehand only if you have any scale or pencil. So then there comes line weights. So you should vary in your line weight. So if you see in this, you see two sketches. The second will look better than the first one. You don't have to like draw a line over like this, but you can vary in the pressure. Here I can't show because it's like a pen tablet, but your lines, the thin lines will have less pressure and the thicker lines will have more pressure. So just apply more pressure in different parts. So if you see in this, like this glass, this will look cartoonish like the cloud you see, but in the dark regions, just apply a bit more pressure with good line quality. So different varying line pressure will make your drawing look good. And then here is like a good example of this is like if realistically this if it's a 50 marks, a sketch like this will get you around uh, maybe like 25 to 35 marks maximum of this level. So you can understand how good your sketch should be for if you want at least 40, around even 40 marks. Even if the line quality here looks good, but there are some cases where you will lose many marks. For example, attention to detail. Luggage don't have much detail if you see just boxes. Then you see there's some negative space here, very unsure what is going on, and should look like a platform. So maximum person would give in evaluation would be around for 30 marks out of 50. Then I'll give you one more tip, which is about noting down the keywords. So for example, in this question, if you saw the keywords in your rough pad which you have, in that you can just write down the keywords because you cannot circle the question in the screen. So just write down like holiday, and then there is the railway station. So this won't make you forget. Last time I made a mistake was I forgot a porter, except that I made everything, but I still managed to get around maybe around 35 marks in this question, or maybe more. I'm not sure because they give you only total. They don't give you marks of each question. So if it's out of 100, they'll give you your maximum marks 70. They won't tell you how much you got in each section. So they won't tell you that you got 25 or 25. You'll only get total marks. So it's better to just note down all the keywords: holiday, railway station, family, relatives, what all human figures are there, then a train which is arriving, not just resting. Then this the whole scenario. So it's crowded, bustling with activity, and luggage, vendors, porters, and in this case where they say whatever else you are likely to observe, if only if you have time you can do this. Otherwise, it's not very compulsory to add whatever. But these are compulsory items which you have to add. If they say whatever else, that's only if you have time. And you should understand the POV of the question and the perspective, the point of view. So in this question, if you see the POV was yourself, like if you see in the question what you see, so you can draw this in 1 point or 2 point. Sometimes they might draw the perspective from the point of a rat, the point of view of a rat, or maybe an eagle on a tree or something like that. So you have to make sure of that and draw it accordingly. You have to note down this keyword as well. What's the point of view? So in last it was yourself. So it can be the 1 point or 2 point, as you can imagine in your head. And then you should always start with a lighter pencil. For example, if you have the paper, always start with the perspective first. Establish the points, and like with a very light pencil. For example, if you have 2H or even HB is fine. Just like make the guidelines, perspective lines. Then later on with like a 2B pencil, you can make other details like a wall or whatever. And you should carry in your example at different grades of pencils. For example, HB, you can carry HB pencil. 2B, if you have a letter in HB, that's also fine. Like 2H, 4H, H. Then and two dark pencils as well for shading or even for different line weight. 4B or maximum 6B or 8B. So human figures which are close require details and not the further ones. So same, I made the in this question I made the family which is close have more detail, and for the far crowds have less detail. So anyone any doubt in the this part, in this sketching first part? So Usha has asked one question: will there be timer running in the computer? Yeah, there will be a timer running in the computer if I remember correctly. So that will help you manage your time properly. The timer will reset after part A is completed, I think. So anyone any doubt in the sketching part, which is of 50 marks? If you have no doubt, I'll move on with the next product design part, design aptitude. So hopefully you understand the evaluation criteria, because that's how it will be managed. All your marks depend on this, especially the line quality and other part, perspective part. So do read the evaluation criteria in the exam before starting. It always varies every year, but it's always about quality of line mainly, and these are always there. Okay, so moving on to the design aptitude part. This is another question from 2025 again, where they had asked to draw a portable chair. So, so some tips how, and this also has evaluation criteria different. If you see, you should use a pencil sketch only, no colors again, and you should use like short labels. For example, this is a product. For example, if you draw a chair, you should just draw small labels like the material. Do mention the material. Do not write paragraphs like very small paragraphs. That will not look nice and it will not get you many marks. Just short. For example, if you have to say it's made up of wood, or you have to write waterproof, just write that in capital letters. like that, or if it's rubber quality or anything like that. Don't write in many details that it is foldable and then like that. It is lightweight. That's not needed. Just short, crisp lines, or even up to 3 words. And then do not write separate explanation. That's what I was talking about. You can use visuals also, like for example arrows, and maybe like a zoomed in part. For example, if you have to zoom in how the rubber part would look like, you can just draw the under view, something like that. But don't give any explanations. So last year it was about a chair. So it was how easy it will be to carry and use. So you have to make sure and design accordingly and sketch it also. It should be unique. All your drawings should be unique. Do not make very generic ones. Even if you do make generic ones, make sure you present it like very aesthetically, and it should look nice and very neat. Because sometimes you might think for a lot of time and you might not come up with a unique design, but if you present well and sketch well, you'll get good marks. But try and be unique and very creative with your answer. Then there should be attention to detail, depending on what they ask in the question. So they ask that it should fit in your backpack. So you cannot make a very big inflatable, like which is it should be something like inflatable seat or something, and not very big like a wooden chair, because that won't fit in a backpack. So that's how you should pay attention to the detail. Then you should explain through short visuals and clarity of the sketch and quality of presentation. So you should not make your answer very boring in just one page, one object in the center, some visuals like that. That will make it boring. So here I have an example of how interesting and like which will get a good marks. This is not about from last year, but just an example of a toothbrush. I saw this answer from internet. So here you can see he has the answer has a heading. There's a heading in capital letters and a good font, and all the answers are in capital letters and just short, no explanations. So here there is an explanation which is not needed. You can shorten this depending on how much time you have, and you can include some shading just in lines, like you see these lines. That shading can be there. So he has added some visuals also. If you see like some boxes, depending on how much time you have, you can make these for good marks. Then you can show like a movement. If you see here how different features it has, all the features can be zoomed in. You can show zoomed in views. How he has showed the zoomed in view of the head of the brush. You can also include like what all feature it has with some visuals. Like if you see the small ones, there are some small icons. You can also do that. Then so here you can see that the arrows he has used. So many people just make arrows like this or like this or something like that. So even you can at least make it like this, or if you're all confident and you are good in some shapes, you can make it like this. So this will look nice, and your presentation skills will be improved in the exam. So you can curve your arrows like that. So try and avoid these kind of arrows, but try and make these kind of arrows, or at least these kind of arrows. If you're not very sure about this, you can make these kind of arrows. Curved arrows also look nice. Just add like a head. So you see this curved arrow over here like that. So that will make the presentation look good. So try to think out of the box and a unique design with aesthetics. So it should look aesthetic, not just very boring minimal design. That is for like professional designers where they make everything minimal. But for UC purpose, you can try and give many aesthetics to your design. The chair can have different kind of features, like many curves, some patterns, and that kind of aesthetics will be there. And talking about the shading, even this applies for the part sketching part also. So the sketching part is that you should always do hatching. So this also looks neat, and the paper is given is very thin also. It's not very thick. So if you go for this kind of shading, which takes time, and you need like a finger or something, don't avoid this kind of shading. Always make like few lines like this For the dark area, include more lines with close gaps, and for the light area, you can increase the gap and use like less pressure. So if you see in this also, the shading, he has done some shading, for example, for the bristles and even for the body. So this kind of shading is good, recommended. Do not go for this kind of shading. If you see here, avoid this, where the paper also might get torn or, and it does not even look that neat, for especially for product design and even for the human figures. So there's one question by Diksha that does it automatically get submitted? Yeah, both part A and part B get automatically submitted. So anyone has any doubt in this part, in the part B?
Like, I don't have a question, Barbie, but I have a general question. Like, how do
Yeah.
we like do the general knowledge, like the GK part?
Yeah, so the GK part is very unpredictable. So last year, there were some questions about maybe like fruits, some political figures like Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi was there. So what you have to do is now there's no time anyways. So it's mainly about luck, like how they'll not ask very tough questions. One or two tough questions might be there, but it'll be like very easy GK questions mostly. Maybe about India, some states, some geography. So it's all about luck mainly at this point. If you're lucky, the GK, and if you know the GK, then it's good. Do learn about geography if you still have some time about Indian states. So Saket has asked, will there be a small gap between part A and part B? No, there's no gap. As soon as you are done with your part A, the part B will start. The questions will appear on the screen,
Uh,
and the previous questions will display.
okay,
Yeah.
so like the general knowledge part, would it be in part A or in like in between of the part A some question areas?
In between part A, in all the three questions, like in NAT you won't get, but you might get in MSQ and MCQ some GK questions. So GK
Okay.
was mainly last year. Before that, it was not very common. Last year, you can say it was unlucky. That's many people. Some people got GK question many marks. Like I also could answer some of them. So it's all about luck. The GK. It won't be very tough. There were two questions about Indian states, so maybe you can study about the. Just look at the Indian map. Just try and figure out maybe the Tropic of Cancer and all. So you guys might not get GK questions also, or you guys might get many GK questions also. So it's depending on how they design the paper.
So will they ask about like paintings and all?
Yeah, they might ask about paintings. You can, if you have till now looked upon the paintings, it's good, and you can just look through some famous paintings. Maybe they might ask like some visual questions also from the painting. How many
Okay,
colors
sir.
are used? What are the primary colors used? Like that. About
Yes, yes.
photography also, you just look through some YouTube video because they asked about photography last year, and I didn't know much, so I left that question. They asked something about shutter speed, like that and all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So related to design, whatever is there, photography, art, painting, you can look through pottery as well, other forms of arts. Yeah. So anyone has any more doubts in any of this part B, part A, part?
It's not a doubt, but do you have any tips? Like when we solve part A, like it's
Yeah.
all about math, GK, and other things, all about
Yeah.
general, and then we
Yeah.
directly came to like GAT, CAT section. So we have
Yeah.
to solve like all the creative part. So how to make
Mm.
our brain work properly at that moment? Like sometimes it doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. So mainly that as soon as the questions appear, the part B questions come, many people get afraid, like, oh, I could not finish my part A. So you can yourself take like around 10 seconds, just take a deep breath, or maybe like you can go to the washroom and just take a small walk. They won't stop you. So what you can just do that, and then you can set your brain. Just take some deep breaths, close your eyes. For this one, don't waste more than 1 or 2 minutes for that. Then you can look at the question. Don't make the mistake of reading. Start reading the question as soon as you're done with part A, because many people part A does not go very well, and they get very nervous in part B. So the questions will appear on the screen, but just take a small break, like 1 minute maximum. Just calm yourself with some deep breath, then look at the question. Since you have been studying about design from this coaching, so yeah, it'll be easy to answer the creative part too. Don't worry. So Saket has asked, what do you
What should
recommend?
we revise?
Yeah, revise at this
Same
point, right?
question.
Yeah, to revise tomorrow. Any specific topic? Yeah. So as I told, look at some Indian geography, like very basic ones, very easy ones, which even small kids can answer, like that kind of geography. Then look at the Indian some famous logos. Like for example, last year they asked about the Indian Post Office logo. So whatever government logos are there, maybe the Indian emblem, there's some very normal ones which you see every day. Don't go and look at some very tough logo of some different department or something. Like some very everyday logo, like what you see maybe in the road, some government logos. Yeah, you can look at them. So for part A, that's what you can revise. Some human anatomy too for part B, if you are not very sure. Line quality you can practice today itself. Tomorrow, do not stress yourself much. Try and stay relaxed. So yeah, this is a topic. Some logos, some geography, and even about like some nature stuff. Maybe some flowers. Last year they asked about fruits and their leaves. This time they might ask about flowers, or so, maybe even some insects or animals. There's some very generic ones, maybe. So you will be lucky if you know about them. Most of the people already know about them. Just it's all about some people are very nervous. So even the easy questions become very tough for them. So then they miss the same question which could be answered by eighth grader, but because of the nervousness, people miss it. So whatever you have been studying in school till now, from maybe all the way from first grade, so they last mostly from that. Some tricky question they always put because not everyone, which only some people can answer, maybe only 1%. So you should just leave that. Like last year they asked about pottery, some very tough question was there. So many people left that.
Uh, I have one small doubt, like about like from our coaching center, they have given some resource books. So would those things be useful?
Yeah, like the GK book, if you're talking about, or
Like in the sense, like they gave a UCEED like one big textbook type, which was saying about like the leaders and few other art and few other things.
yeah. So you can go through that. The easy part, especially, don't go through like very detailed ones, which you might yourself know. That is, or this is like very tough question, or very like some people know about this. So yeah, don't go through that. Just some very basic ones about music and all those. That is fine. And it's anyways it's few days, so don't go through much of the reference books and all. It's not about that. Try and score more in part B is fine. My part B was comparatively higher than others, so that's why I scored good. Part A was in average. If you see, it was just around average, so it's fine. So part B is totally in your hands. The sketching quality and all, the question won't be very tough. They might ask some interview perspective, so that's all about your luck. But if you have practiced well, you can do well. And part A also, yeah. You don't have to go through many books for now. Don't go through much like cosmic GK or some history. Don't go through very much now. So yeah, anyone, any more questions? Okay, so if no one has no questions, I'll just ask. I'll just go through.
Like, just one last
Yeah,
question. Like, overall, like, while you were giving the entrance exam, how did you
yeah.
feel? Like, overall, May?
Overall, May.
Like the overall part A, part B, and the drawing. How did you feel at the end?
After the exam, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that I was very happy for my part B. The sketching part, the product design part, yeah, I felt like mine could have been better, but yeah, I was like little unsure. Part A, as soon as I come home after 2 days, you can, if you remember your answers, you can get your exact marks. So for example, like last year, after 2 days, the question paper was released in the website, and when I saw the questions, I could just note it down all of them. I opened the calculator and I got my part A marks. So it was almost the same how much I got in final. you won't get your marks, but you have to calibrate yourself if you remember your answers. Yeah, and part B, most of the people actually part B marking is very strict over there. If you see, so only like if you have drawn very good, you'll get around 70 in part B out of 100. The average goes only like 30 to 35. So many in my college itself, most of the people have scored good in part A, but I'm like some of the few who have scored good in part B and so yeah, mainly you will feel like your part. If your party went well, yeah, party many people feel confident that yeah, my party was good, uh, but because of part B, they do not make it. So I was very confident about my part B, especially as sketching perspective part, and my product design also I was little sure that yeah, it's fine. And my part A marks I got to know about after 2 days itself, to calculating.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
One more question, like there is a pattern we can see in UCEED examination papers for perspective. Like one last year they gave outdoor perspective,
yeah,
and before that there was indoor perspective. So what do you
yeah.
think this year there will be like indoor?
So this is like completely impossible for me to guess, but because I think last year was like the first time they asked outdoor. Before that, they always ask indoor, and indoor is quite tough. So I think this year they might ask indoor. I have maybe, or they might surprise because last year how they surprised us with GK, so they might surprise you with something else. Maybe like a inside a tiffin box question they might ask inside a pencil box. So the supplier perspective you can answer all. It can be anything. You can be inside a bag as well, or maybe you're inside some big hall, outdoor, indoor, anything. But perspective can be used anywhere. So if you're good with perspective, it's fine. Don't have to worry about what will come in exact same.
Okay, and also for the entrance exam, like what all materials we have to take, like the pad, the pencil, like sketching pencils, and should we bring like sandpaper, like for sharpening?
Uh, so I have the list over here, which I was going to discuss. But since you've asked, I'll just discuss. I'll just show now. So yeah, sharpener you can take some pencils. No color or even a scale is not allowed. If you bring them, also they'll take it right before your party. So then you have all these items you can see. You have to carry one original photo ID, which is your ID card, school ID card also is fine. Or if you have Aadhaar card, birth certificate, a black pen or a blue pen, take a ball pen, and then some drawing materials, as I mentioned, some pencils of HB, 2B, 4B, 6B. Then this is optional, like a exam pad, A4 size. This is, I mean, if you don't take also, it's fine. Then for eraser, I'll just say that take a brand new eraser as well and a used eraser also because the edges of the brand new eraser, for example, if you have to erase just one eye of a person, like maybe you made it like a bit odd, so you cannot use this eraser, right? It will erase the whole thing. So you can use the edge of the eraser. So take two erasers, one brand new and one old one. Do take an old one. Many people just take the new one. The old one will cover more area.
Okay, so instead of taking a sharpener, can I just take a like sandpaper type so that immediate one I can do it faster?
Maybe sandpaper they might not allow because it's like a form of paper. So no, mostly sandpaper they
Oh,
won't allow.
okay.
Take a sharpener.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I wanna ask, there on the admit card there is nowhere written we can't carry like ruler or scale. So
Yeah, it's not
should
written. Even I
we
was also,
we
yeah.
can carry, and if they ask then we can remove it right on the spot, because I'm not gonna use it, but
Mm.
still for the second hand
Yeah, yeah.
size
Yeah.
I'm planning to carry it.
Yeah, if you're fine with maybe you might lose it because they will take it and later on after exam you will have to go and take it. So if you're fine, if you lose it in case, yeah, you can take it. But they during the exam hall they will take it before the party in most of the centers.
Uh, okay, so if I just take a kneadable eraser instead of a normal eraser, would that be fine?
Yeah, needable error is fine.
Okay.
So the paper approach, I just say. So the instruction which will be given in the starting of the paper, like this kind of, you can just read it in 2 minutes. Don't spend much time in that. It's not very new. You can read it today itself. It will be the same mostly. And just scroll through all the part A questions quickly. Okay, like some questions you might then your brain will just get processed like trained that yeah, these are the questions which are there. So then you can start with any of the NAT, MCQ or MSQ depending on whatever you find easy. I would say start with MCQ before MSQ because in MCQ your brain will be trained to give the right answer. Then in MSQs you won't get distracted much. First you'll take on the right answer, then you might look at the other answers. Yeah, this can also be right. So like that. So you can start with NAT or MCQ first, but MSQ keep it for the last because many people lose marks in MSQ also. So NAT is also tough depending on how it comes, but you can start with MCQ or NAT. Yeah. So each section is in section 1 to 3 in part A. Do not give more than 30 to 35 minutes. Then the last few 10 minutes you can just leave it, and then what all questions you have unmarked, you can just go and answer them. So if more than 1 minute you are given to one question, for example, if you have one question you are stuck for 2.5 minutes, you should leave it and go for the next one. Otherwise, the same case might happen for me, and like it happened. I was just going to write the last final answer, which I knew was correct, but the time ran out, so that should not happen.
Okay, and also like for the MCQ, MSQ and stuff, they would have the device for us for doing it, yeah?
What device?
Like I mean like for the MCQ and stuff, would they give us like the question paper type or would it be online?
It'll be online, so I'll just show you. Like it'll be like this is your screen.
Yeah, like online I know because I gave you, but like
Yeah,
in
it's
that
online.
entrance hall, they'll have the device and stuff.
No, there's no such device. It's just your this laptop and a keyboard. Not laptop, I mean a screen and a keyboard. That's it. So
Ah,
here
okay,
you'll get a
okay.
keypad.
Like a screen and a keyboard they'll have.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so we don't need to take our mobiles or anything inside.
No, mobile is not allowed. If you see here, mobile phones are not allowed. No digital
Ah,
devices.
okay.
Even normal watches are not allowed.
For
And
you,
no phone.
and for NIFT,
NIFT. I think maybe yeah, same thing. You can these things are allowed. Sketch pens. I think sketch pens are not allowed anywhere, but color pencil is allowed. Poster colors are allowed. These are allowed. I think some alcohol markers are allowed.
and what about calculator?
What about what?
Calculator.
I didn't hear you.
Calculator.
Oh, calculator.
Yeah.
No, that's not allowed.
Okay.
Yeah, so, any more doubts in the items part or the strategy, the approach of the paper?
I want to ask, like, I'm carrying more than three pencils of HB grade because I'm quite kind of very used to that pencil.
Yeah,
Like, they won't allow like number of tools we have, right? Like,
yeah, that
I'm
does. It's
gonna
fine.
carry a
You
lot
can,
because I don't want to waste my time sharpening the pencils and all those
yeah,
stuff. So,
that's a good idea. You can take. Just do not mismanage in the exam hall because just for finding one pencil, you might, if you're looking for 2B, you might like have to take a lot of material. But it's fine. Just before the exam, just place all your pencils next to you from out of the pouch, so it'll be easy for you.
yeah.
Yeah, you can take many. Sharpening does take time, so it's fine. So, any other doubts? So, Kushi has asked, can we take a mechanical pencil? I think I'm not sure if it's allowed or not, but I would suggest don't take a mechanical pencil because it's not very good for your line quality or your sketch. A normal pencil is fine, standard pencil, wooden one. Mechanical pencils, they won't say anything because they don't know if it's a pen or a pencil from outside. So yeah, you can take, but I would suggest just draw with a sketch with a wooden pencil. As they are not mentioned about mechanical pencil, so it's fine. But scales, even if they didn't mention, last year they took it from us. So yeah. So same might happen with mechanical pencil. And the admit card, make sure to take 2 copies in case you lose one or there's some printing mistake, anything like that. And your water bottle too, take a transparent one. Don't take a steel or copper or something like that. It should be transparent.
Also,
So
like, is it necessary to take like school identity card as well as like Aadhaar card, or would one be fine?
one is fine. You can
Okay,
take many IDs, but yeah, in case you lose, but you can, anything is fine.
okay, fine.
Any of these mentioned here, you see. So as they have mentioned, it's carry one original or valid photo ID. So these are some last minute tips. So I would suggest you to organize your materials one night before in your bag, and do not, so there's no rush in the morning. So you have to rest well, eat healthy, and stay hydrated in the exam, and take some deep breaths in case, like as I said, maybe between 2 sections, or if you feel any nervousness in the uh, exam hall, or if you're not getting any question, don't let that take over your mind. Otherwise, you will mess up all the questions, including your sketching. So, any more doubts, anyone?
How many time we have to spare per picture?
Uh, per picture, like the question, you mean?
Per question.
Oh yeah, per question. Take like just give 1 minute for every part A question, and for the part B, give 30 minutes to each. Some questions might take more than 1 minute, but for calculation. But if you know that you don't know the answer and it's taking more than 1 minute, you have to leave it and come back to it later if you have time.
And for sketch?
For sketching, 30 minutes for each question is fine, or even around 20 to 25 minutes each question, because the last 10 minutes it will be advisable to give it for revision in case you miss some objects or some human figure. So yeah, 20 to 25 minutes each question. Whichever you feel is you're more confident with. Like for example, if you're more confident with the design aptitude part, you can attempt that first. Then you can move on with the sketching. There's no compulsion of doing sketching first and then the design aptitude. So one more tip I would like to give is that, for example, in your screen, the first question has appeared, this one. I would suggest you not to look at the next question, because that might occupy your mind. Like your mind might not focus on this one. In case you saw something tough, like maybe some tough question is there. So better to just look at one question. Once you're done and you're confident, then you can move on with the second one. You can look at the second question. So 2 questions in your mind might not make you, it might make you nervous, and your sketch quality might reduce. So it's better just look at one question, complete it, then look at the next one.
Plus, like doing the sign, like the sketching part, like we would get like a rough sheet as well as a main sheet. So like,
Yeah,
for the main sheet and stuff, that would be the main thing, and for the rough, it's our own brief sketch, like the thumbnail.
yeah. The rough is not. It is. They take the rough paper away, but it's not submitted. Only your main paper is submitted.
Oh, okay. So only main paper we have to submit, and rough we can just keep it with us.
No, you cannot take it back with you. They take it anyways, but
Oh,
there's no evaluation for it.
oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. So, so there's one more thing many people faced like last year was that in the end of this 2 questions, there's like a section where in the screen where it is written that you have submitted both the sections. So it is like a tick option that yeah, I'm done with this and I have submitted the sketching part, and I have take this and I have submitted design aptitude. So it's many people forget to take this. So it's not like your answer won't get evaluated. Since you have already submitted your main paper, it's fine. So even if you don't take this, it's fine. Many people had a doubt last year in the exam hall itself that, ma'am, I have not ticked this column and I forgot to tick it. It's fine. That's just for the computer purpose. So it's not about, it's not compulsory. If you forget, it's fine. So anyone, any more doubts? You can clarify all your doubts if you have anything related.
So like 1 hour would be like for the online this MCQ, MSQ and all those. The second hour will be for drawing and third hour for what?
No, there's 2 hours for part A
Okay.
and 1 hour for part B.
Oh, okay.
So the 2 hours, as soon as the 2 hours are completed, you cannot go back to the part A. So there's no option to do anything.
Oh, and for part B, so we have to be quick in the thumbnail and we have to move on for the main sketch.
Yeah, thumbnail should be very quick in your small rough pad. Just compose all the items, and then we can move on with the main sheet. So Saket has asked, if after part A we have time left after rechecking, uh, do you recommend to quickly maybe do a little line practice on the rough sheets before part B starts off as a warm? So right now, yeah, you might be thinking that if your part A is rechecking, but many people are not satisfied with their part A. So even if they have time, maybe even for 10 minutes, 20 minutes also, it's better you just keep looking to the part A itself. Yeah, you can do some warm up. It's fine. If you're sure that your part A was fine and then you don't have any doubts, because many times you might actually find some right answer even if you left it. So I would not actually recommend this, because line quality, you can do it within just some 10 seconds of the starting of the exam. As someone has asked, had asked before, that there's some time, how do you switch your mind from part A to part B, the creative part? So yeah, in that gap you can do some line practice for the first few 10 seconds. Just some quick 10 to 20 horizontal and vertical lines is fine. But yeah, if you think that you have very much time left, your part A was very easy and you're satisfied, then yeah, you can surely do in your rough sheet some.
Like
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't get over before 2 hours, but in case if
Yeah.
it gets before 2 hours, if we finish the online one, can we move to the part B then?
No, your part B
Oh, so
won't appear.
after 2 hours only they'll start the part B.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So even if you're done in within 1 hour or something, you just have to piece it in. You cannot start with part B. Yeah. So Khushi has asked, in how much dimensions do we have to make the sketch? Is it given in the question, or we can do it by ourselves? Or the dimension of the product, or anything, right? So yeah, there's no dimension, but the sheet is like, I think I don't remember. It is around like a yeah, bigger than A4 size maybe. I think I don't remember. Yeah, but dimension, just try to make a good composition. Don't make it very small like that. So dimension depends, like how many sketches you're drawing. Maybe if you have to draw a chair, maybe you can make a small main chair, some features. So I would not advise you to make like a huge one chair in between and just make text around it. So yeah, you can make different dimensions, like maybe one medium size, one small size, one zoomed in feature. Yeah. So there's no compulsion on dimension. You can choose how much. You can do it by yourself. There's nothing given in the question as well. So you can just see this question. There's no dimension mentioned anywhere. In this or in this product design question, there is no dimension mentioned if you see. Yeah. So any doubts?
I
Anyone
want
else?
to ask like the last question.
Yeah. It's fine. You can
Just
ask.
like NID question paper, there was a question like on the top of sheet and below was a box for the all for the answer. So we
Yeah.
will get the same format for UCEED too, right?
I didn't understand because what was the NID thing again?
Like there was a question written and then there was a frame for the answer, like
Yeah.
a square or a rectangle box. We will get
Yeah.
same format, right?
In UCEED. So you mean like this, right? So it'll be like a paper, the question written, and like a box to answer it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in UCEED, no, it's not like this. Your question will be on the screen, your laptop screen, your monitor, and it'll be like a paper in front of you, and it'll be like a blank paper, as far as I remember. So yeah, it's all in this. The question will be written over here, and you have to draw it on this. It won't be like this, like the NID. It'll be like on the screen.
So we
Okay,
also
so
have to
the
draw the frames for the answer. Like if the question is product, draw something like draw a chair or draw a mouse for future. So we have to like
Mm.
on the answer sheet, we have to first make the frame and then the answer.
You mean like a frame like this one?
Yeah, the square frame. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's I don't remember if it's given or not already in the question paper in the answer sheet. But if you have some time, maybe if you feel like it might increase the presentation quality, yeah, you can make a frame. It's fine. This it'll look good. So Khushi has asked, what is the GSM of the paper given? Compared to NID, I think it's thicker than an NID question paper. I remember in my coaching last year, sir told that yeah, it was quite thick. It is quite. It is thicker than. It's not very thin, but it is very smooth. Like if you see it won't be rough. Like the texture of the paper, it'll be very smooth. Something like almost like a magazine paper, something like that. So would the questions be presented in the device? And we need to draw. Yeah, that's what the question will be on the device, and you have to draw it on the paper. No, there is no question paper. The only answer sheets which they give you, and one rough sheet.
We
uh,
have to write down the question we selected, right? If there are two options, like
Can you
draw
repeat?
chair or like
Oh,
we
do you have to
have
write
to
down
note the question number.
question number? I think in the question, I think the answer sheet, the question number is written. I think if I remember, I'm not very sure how it was exactly because it's been 1 year now exactly. So there'll be two sheets. Maybe I don't remember how it was. Maybe it was like a booklet, I think, with two papers. Yeah, it was like this. So it was like two papers stapled, and one for the sketching part, and one underneath it for the product design part. And I think yeah, there was like not a question, but something to indicate that this is for the sketching one, and this is for the design aptitude. Maybe the question number. So she has asked any tips for NAT. NAT, there's few days, 2 days left. So I would just say that you make all the rough calculations in your rough sheet, and maybe they ask about like pattern or how many different types of pens are there, how many different types of shapes are there. So you have to look through very carefully. Like you have to zoom in and lock in the exam hall for the NAT part. So that's how you can answer the NAT. Your calculation, your maths should be strong. Calculate very fast, quickly, and but in a calm way in your rough sheet. So how many rough papers will they give? I think they give like a booklet again, like around 3, 4, 5, something like that. Rough sheets will be there. It'll be little grayish. Maybe it depends from different center to different. uh, Do we need portfolio for IIT? No, there is no portfolio for IIT. So it's all based on a UCEED exam. Uh, like, would the device be there for all individual people or like a big screen? No, there's no big screen. It'll be uh, like how in the school computer labs, right? So there'll be one laptop, another laptop. There'll be like a division in between, so you can't look at the other person's answer. So yeah, one laptop for one monitor for each, and like a keyboard. It'll be like that. No big screen, so it's comparatively easy. Any tip for UCEED exam as it's on Sunday? So as I said, yeah, in this you have to keep yourself calm. Uh, some division, as I said, just look through some very basic GK. Don't go for very tough depth GK. Some nature stuff and related, maybe some about some planets and stars. Think like how would you study in eighth grade or ninth grade. Don't go for 12th grade portions. Even if it's for maths, like some percentage, ratio, proportion, measurement about like some distance, centimeters. Yeah, you should also learn the conversion, maybe from meter to centimeter. How much is 1 meter in centimeter? Like that, millimeters, nanometers, pixels as well. But it's all about luck. They might not ask that this time. But yeah, there'll be some distance questions and some height, width, etc. Uh, can we zoom into the screen as it's a computer? No, you can't zoom into the screen as there is no mouse or anything. Yeah, there is a mouse, but you cannot zoom into the screen. So did you select any specific course in the first year of your college? No, it's just BDS. There's no specific course yet in within BDS for now. I think it's in third year you can choose like UI UX, product design, industrial design. In NID you can choose earlier, like in second year itself, but in IIT you have to choose it in your third or fourth year. Third year, I think, depending on your interest and your scores as well in your grades in your college. So some more last minute tips, as I said in this, you can just also make sure of these. Do make organize your materials one night before. And related to the exam, part A is I would say 60% luck actually, and 40% how good you are in maths, and some visualization about patterns, colors, animation, etc. So it's not just about how good you. Some people are very lucky, also I would say. So part B is where there's no luck, but more about your skill. Part A is yeah lucky. So maybe some people were very good in GK last year, so they did very well. Some people had no idea about GK, but maths is one sure thing. Some typography, yeah, I forgot to mention typography for last minute. Do look at different kind of fonts, like there's some serif, sans serif, about those. Different type of font they might ask as well. So I'll just show like how it will be. This they have been repeating many times, so it'll be like a B in a different type, C like that, or D like a different font, E, maybe F is like very bold. So this is like a very sure question, I would say. Not 100% sure, but yeah, they'll ask you how many different kinds of fonts are there. So you can say this and this are similar. So one, this is different two, this is different three, this is different four, five. So there are five kinds of fonts. So yeah, fonts they for some reason they think is very important for designers. So yeah, they ask different kind of fonts.
Also, like while we were doing mock test, I just found this question like they were saying that create fonts for any language. So, like, what does
Hmm.
it mean?
Fonts for any language.
Yeah, that question came.
That was the exact question. Like this font for any language, or
Mm.
was it like a new language has been discovered and you have to make
No,
fonts for it?
no. The language what we have over here, like any language we can choose and it should be in a font. So, like, is it
Hmm.
like the way we have to decorate a font, or is it like a thing like we have to show it like sans serif and all those type?
I think it's the way how you think about the font, like the decorate. Maybe it's designing a different kind of font. I think depending on the mood and the emotion of the whatever the question was. I think font related to that because font also have a language, right? So maybe some fonts like a very straight ones are very formal, like if you see this, but something like this is like very literature kind of cursive. So yeah, maybe it's about that because every font conveys different kind of emotion and feeling. So maybe it is about that.
Okay, fine.
But anyway, since it's UCEED now, so then there is no question like this. But yeah, they will ask you a question like this, as I showed you, different kind of fonts, identify the different fonts or shapes, anything. So anyone, any more question? Maybe related to college or anything. Even after you see it, like there is some procedures. What is there? Anything related to that? If you don't get IT, what to do? If you get, what are the processes? Or related to
Like,
the exam
can
as
you
well.
arrange one more session after UCEED exam? Like more, you can share more information about IIT and all.
Yeah, sure. I will once I'll talk with the United India team and then I can take one.
Yeah, because like we know UCEED, but we don't know much about IIT design terms, so
Yeah, so
we are not sure.
I'll let you know now if you have any doubt. Just a brief that see there IIT Bombay is on top as we know because they only set every paper. Then the rank is depending on if you have taken PCMC or arts or commerce, you can choose IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, IIT Hyderabad, Indore. So if you have science, then only you can come to IIT Roorkee and IIT Guwahati. So the course of IIT Roorkee and Guwahati is like little different from these IIT Bombay. It's more like science, more engineering, and also design. So you'll have stuff like material science, force, thermodynamics also. I had thermodynamics last year, fluid mechanics. So yeah, it was quite surprising for us also. Design is also there. There is sketching, craft. So yeah, any more doubts? Anyone? Any exam predictions? Yeah, so I was just predicting maybe they might not ask very much GK this year, maybe, or maybe they discovered that GK is very important, so maybe that's why they are introduced. So GK is a very important thing for this exam. Part B last year they asked about railway station. This is the second part is called design aptitude. So it's not just about product design. They also might ask about maybe like a poster design as well. So you should be prepared. Like design aptitude does not always mean design product design. So that they can surprise you with a aptitude question. Maybe like a poster, maybe even a logo, design a mascot, anything. So yeah, that is one. And then scene drawing will be simple. Like depending on how good you are with perspective. Perspective is important. Human anatomy to composition of objects. Shade very lightly. So that's one. Party prediction is very tough as I said. Just the type font thing has been repeating. Then something about like this kind of question where you have to visualize stuff like this random scribbles. Some material questions like this too. How many wires have been used? So material question is very common. They might ask you like a big cube and many small cubes, and few cubes are absent. Like there's no cube over here. How many cubes are absent like that? So you should be good in visualizing from your mind. So part A is quite unpredictable, except for the NAT part, which is maths. Basic maths, which have been taught in Ignite India, is enough, and some from a school as well. 11, 12 trigonometry, etc. is not needed for sure. Trigonometry, algebra, that's not needed. Mainly about till your 10th maybe maximum. More questions, anyone?
Any further questions, guys? Anushka, Arnav, Ashita, Divya, Isha, Kavya, Khushi, Kirti, Lakshya, Lenjal, Motlika, Saket, Usha, any question? No? So, how was the session, guys? Anushka, Arnav, could you please turn on your camera and tell us, like, how was the session?
Sorry, ma'am, I can't turn on my camera because my network, I can't hear properly if I turn on my camera. But yeah, I
Okay.
can like give
No
my
worries. So
feedback.
then please
It
share
was
me
very
your
good.
feedback.
Yeah, it was very good and helpful because a lot of doubts were cleared in this session. So it was good and really helpful.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Anushka. Arnav, how was the session? Could you please share me the feedback? Ashita, Divya, Isha, how was the session, guys? Isha, could you please share?
Yes, ma'am. The session was good, and also we could even notice how well like each question should be allocated the time. Like we should not spend so much time for like in MCQs and even for Part B because it's total for 3 hours and 2 hours we are only for MCQs and 1 hour is for the Part B. So 1 hour we have to do it very quick. So the main thing is that we have to do the main sketch faster than having a thumbnail. Like we need thumbnail, but understanding how each and everything works and where's the negative marking and where we can get good grades. And yeah.
27.
Okay, Isha. So thank you so much your feedback. Rest, Anushka, do you have any further questions?
Yeah, ma'am, I have a request. Like arrange a session after your seat for IIT, like information about IIT.
For sure, for sure.
Hopefully, you all
Definitely, we'll
clear
arrange.
Ma'am,
IIT.
and please do it for NIF as well.
Yeah, definitely. We'll arrange some for NIFT as well. Arnav, so you messaged us. You are I am having repeated issues. What was the issues? Could you please mention in the on the chat box? Rest, Kavya, Kirti, Lakshya, network issues. Okay, okay, no worries. Matlika, Saket, how was the session, guys? Sanjita, Usha, how was the session? If you are unable to turn on your camera, so could you please just unmute yourself and share your experiences with us? Saket, how was the session?
Yes, ma'am, it was really nice, ma'am. It gave good insight. So, yeah, it was really helpful.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Saksham, for the wonderful session and for all the information. So now they are pretty much clear with the UCEED exam. So guys, all the best and thank you so much, Saksham, once again.
Thank you,
You're
All the
welcome.
sir.
best, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All the best, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you,
Good
sir.
night. Good night.